All right, let's see if we can take this quiz together because I know that for a number of you, it will pose some challenging questions. So let's go. It says write an expression to represent the sum of 10 and the quotient of a number x and 6. So let's see here. I'm going to look for some words like quotient. That word quotient tells me I got to have some division in this expression. It's the quotient of a number x and 6. So it's a number x and 6, the quotient of number x and 6. And then I need the sum of 10 and this number. So this number's got to get, since this has to come first, or I want to be clear that we're going to take this number here, whatever this equals, and then we're going to add the sum of this number and 10. Sum means add, so I'll put 10 up front. I think that's it. If I take 10 and find that, the sum of 10 plus x divided by 6. Well, let's give it a shot and see what happens. 10 plus, that doesn't work. Parentheses, x divided by 6. That's the division symbol remember we use a fraction bar as a division symbol most commonly in algebra, which is why you don't see it the way you'd expect to see it, maybe next to the addition button, subtraction button, and multiplication button. And remember, the dot is multiplication. Well, let's give it a go and see what we get. Oh, okay. Let's keep moving. It's a good start. All right, Sunny earns $12 per hour delivering cakes. She worked X hours this week. Unfortunately, she was charged $15 for a late delivery on Tuesday. Oh no. How much money did she earn this week? Write your answer as an expression. So we don't know how many hours she works, but for every X hour she works, right, she's going to make $12, right? So $12 for every hour she works. So that means, like, for example, if we want to clarify, if x equals 1, she's going to make how much money? Right, $12. If x equals 2, she'll make, right, exactly, $24, right? We're going to multiply x times 12 to get however much she makes. So 12x is the expression that represents how much she made in a week. Now, it says, however, that she lost $15. She was charged a fee for a late delivery. So how do we represent losing something like this with mathematics? Well, my thought is we're going to use subtraction. So we're going to take the amount of money she made in total for the week, which is 12 times x, the number of hours she worked, and we're going to subtract from that the $15 late fee. So I'm going to go with 12x minus 15. Let's see if I'm correct. Woohoo, I'm excited to find out what's going on. Subtract $15 for the late fee. Oh, 3, 2, 1. No, we did it. All right, next one. Here we go. Write an expression to represent 9 minus the quotient of 2 and a number x. So this looks a lot like the first problem we tackled. So quotient is a keyword. I know we're going to need division in here somewhere because I need to find a quotient. And it says 2 and a number x. So I'm going to go with 2 and the number x. I'm going to write them in the order they're written in. 2 divided by x. Now, I need to find 9 minus. Now, minus is a keyword. I need subtraction. 9 minus this number. So this number is going to go in parentheses. And then 9 minus the number is going to go up front, I think. So now I have 9 minus this number, 2 divided by x. Right? 9 minus the quotient of 2 and a number x. I think that looks good. Do you see how I went and I tried to fill in the operation symbols first? I'm looking for clues about operations. Quotient tells me I need division. Minus tells me I need to subtract. And then I work around those operation symbols to make sense of the sentence. Well, I'm speaking as if I know I got it right, and I don't. So let's go ahead and find out 9 minus parentheses. And then I'm going to do 2 divided by x. I'm nervous because I'm not feeling totally confident about this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, did it. All right, next one. Grandma Gertrude gave 13 pieces of jewelry, and Grandma Thien gave Y pieces of jewelry to the Carlson sisters to divide evenly among themselves. Oh my gosh. Okay. One grandma gave 13 pieces of jewelry and the other Y pieces of jewelry. Okay. There are 5 Carlson sisters. So all those jewelry pieces, 13 and Y, they have to be divided up amongst 5 sisters. How many pieces of jewelry did each sister receive? That's the question. Write your answer as an expression. Oh my gosh, because we don't know how much Grandma Thien gave to the sisters, do we? It's just Y. So how are we going to find the total amount of jewelry given by both grandmas? How do we find 13 pieces from one and Y from another? I think one key word is and. In this case, and means addition. We're adding these all together into one big pot of jewelry, right? Before we divide it up into 5 sisters or by 5 sisters. So that's going to be 13 pieces of jewelry from Grandma Gertrude and Y pieces of jewelry from Grandma Thien. All right, so I got 13 and Y. That's a total amount of jewelry, and that is divided up amongst the 5 sisters. Now, order of operations says division would come first, which means if I want it to come second, I have to put this in parentheses to make this come first. And then I can divide that total number by the 5 sisters. So 13 and Y, add them all up, divide by the 5 sisters. I think that's the amount of jewelry each sister gets. So let's go with parentheses, 13 plus Y, outside of parentheses, divided by 5. And again, remember, it looks confusing at first, but in algebra, we use a fraction bar to represent division almost always. And so when you see this 13 plus Y over 5, it means divided by 5. That's a fraction bar. All right. I hope I'm right. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. Oh, did it. Good. We have one left. Let's do the last problem together. Write an expression to represent 4 less than the product of 1 and a number x. Oh, this was just like problems number 1 and 3, isn't it? This is the same kind of problem. 4 less than the product of 1 and a number x. So I'm going to go ahead and look for those keywords that give me clues to the operations. The first clue is product. I know I have to multiply. Somewhere in here I have to multiply. Or, you know what? Even better. I'm going to do the algebra symbol for multiplication. Times. Okay, so 4 less than the product of 1 and a number x. So 1, and so it's 1 times x. But you know what, though? In algebra, we don't write 1 times x like that, do we? Do you know how we do it? It's not even 1x. It's just x, because 1 times x is just x. So the product of 1 and x is just x. So it'll be interesting to see what Khan Academy is going to want. Are they going to want this 1 times x with a dot? Or are they going to want just x with no 1 in front of it? Because the problem does say the product of 1 and a number x. That's kind of confusing. But let's put that aside for now. Let's look at the next part of the problem, the 4 less than. Less than is the other key word. It means subtract, right? If we want to find 4 less than something, we got to subtract from it. So I have the x. I need 4 less than that, which means the subtraction goes on the other side, right? I start with this number of 1 times x, and I subtract 4. So is it going to be 1 and times x minus 4 or just x minus 4? That is the question. I don't know which one to choose. They're both correct technically, but I don't know what Khan Academy looks for. So I'm going to actually go with one that I think is probably less correct, but because it was spelled out, let's just try typing in this first one first and see what happens. The product of 1 and a number x. Since the sentence says it really explicitly, I'm going to type it in that way, even though it's not typical. 1 times x. I'm going to use parentheses. I don't need them because multiplication comes before subtraction. But for clarity's sake, I'm going to use parentheses. Minus 4. Do you think that'll work? It's it's a product of 1 and x, and it's 4 less than that. Let's find out. It did work. Oh, cool. So they were looking for that. All right. Well, I hope this helped. Okay. I know you've done the quiz already, but I wanted you to see how to work through these kinds of problems because I could tell by the results this quiz was, for many of you, very challenging. All right. Onward and upward. Let me know if you need help. We're going to keep going with pre-algebra. Thank you for watching.